Hello and welcome to another edition of Into the Wilderness, your look at Minnesota Wilderness Hockey, and we're joined by Assistant General Manager Ryan Peltoma. Yep. On the show we're going to have goaltender Luke Kania as well as the head coach Corey Millen. And talking about what has been going on with this team over the last couple weeks, well, currently the record is 30-14-4. They're at 64 points on the season, 13 points behind Fairbanks, so they continue to roll, 9 points above Springfield, who sits in third place. So the Wilderness firmly entrenched in second place right now, 3-1-1 since the last show that we had.
Yeah.
So
been on a little bit of a roll. I kind of hit a speed bump in Cooley last weekend.
Let's hope it's just a speed bump.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so it was a rough weekend.
Yeah, I think there's a combination of a couple of things there. I think we had 5 guys that were top prospects that played. I don't even know.
They played 2 games there.
2 games before, 2 games there.
It was
it was 7 games in 9 days or 10 days, something like that. Yeah. So, and Cooley's really battling to try to make a move for that 4th and final playoff spot. So. Yeah. They're kind of in desperation time here because they need every point they can get right now to catch up to Janesville.
Right, they're in their groove right now.
Yeah.
So got some guys that did pick up some awards. Honorable mentions. Ryan Bloom twice named honorable mention in the last couple of weeks for
star he's been
of the
on
week.
Kind of a roll here.
He's been 10 points in 7 games. He's
a lot of them are goals too.
Yes. Yeah. Saturday night's game assisted on both of the goals there, and he was on a 5-game goal scoring streak that ended on the game on Friday night down in Cooley region. Also, Brian Hurley also picked up 1 honorable mention a little over a week ago, and just announced this week Kyle Patava also named an honorable mention. Some guys still dealing with injury right now. Some guys are not coming back. It appears Tyler Klein, Malo Veal, those guys are coming back.
Those guys are shut down. We were thinking maybe Klein would be back by the end of the season, and we talked to his doctor and kind of decided to shut him down. I mean, I don't think he would start skating until April, and then he's not in hockey shape, and so we kind of shut him down. And then Malo obviously had knee surgery, so he's done for a while. And Brett Heikkila is battling back to get back. We think he'll be back before playoffs or to start playoffs. We're hoping.
Right. He's been progressing. I noticed last weekend he didn't even have the boot.
I was talking to him a little bit today, and I think the docs gave him a go ahead to start skating non-contact in practice, but I think coaches are going to take it pretty easy with him and kind of take it easy just so he's back for playoffs and not push it. So. Right. So hopefully he gets back before playoffs start up here because he's a big part of our team.
Right, and on the night that we're recording this is the same night as the Section 7A championship game. There is a future Wilderness player that is playing in that game. Cole Koepke is with Hermantown. Young man that's picked up 56 points in his 26 games this season, so a good offensive player.
We added him to our roster for the end of the year, so he's going to come play with us the last. Depending on how they do tonight.
Let's hope it's not for a while.
Hopefully they're not for another week because the state tournament will be next weekend. Hopefully not another week. But he's a nice player. I've watched him a few times this year, and he brings some offensive ability to our team. And with Klein and Malo and Heikkila kind of being out right now, that might be something that we need. So he's a nice player, and he'll be a nice addition at the end of the year. So.
And we want to make a mention about a former Wilderness player, a young man that played with the team last season, was in only 9 games, a small part of the year, and this year was playing in another league, and just this past weekend suffered a serious spinal injury. Young man's name is Matt Olson, and we are really thoughts and prayers going out to Matt and the struggles that his family is right now going through, as they're going to need some help as far as paying for whatever kind of needs that he's going to have to are going to develop here for him. And a GoFundMe account has been established, and you can go ahead and check that out. GoFundMe.com/MattOlson-3. I think there's a Twitter hashtag for him, hashtag MO3.
Yep, I think that's what
out there on Twitter. So if you want to look some things up on him.
I wasn't around last year, so I didn't get a chance to meet him. But talking to Corey and Dave and Josh, that the team's going to definitely do something for them down the road when they kind of know what they need. And they were pretty shaken up about it when they heard the news, and thoughts and prayers definitely go out to him and his family, and hopefully he can get better sooner than later.
That there can be something can be done to help him improve. It was just a fluke thing. I mean, just a rut in the ice, from what I understand. It wasn't a contact kind of a play.
Yeah, that's kind of what I heard too. He kind of just tripped and went into the boards funny, and it's tough. Tough deal. I mean, it's kind of It's as a former player, it's tough to see. I mean, you play your whole life, and it's crazy how a small moment like that can take abilities away from you like that. So
and I think about what his parents are going through, because I'm sure as my son had played for a little while, and every time that he would make go toward the boards, you're always like thinking you don't want anything to happen and I can only imagine what his parents are thinking through this whole thing. So I want to end on a downer note. We do want to go ahead and give you the trivia question here just before we go to a break here, and that is and we did go ahead and the previous show, it's the same trivia question that we had from the previous show. That show is exclusively for Cat 7. This show is also going to be on Cat 7, but it'll also be distributed on YouTube. But the trivia question is, who was the last Wilderness player to score a hat trick? And if you know the answer, go ahead and post it on Twitter. The Twitter handle @MNWilderness, and also you could also post it through Facebook, Minnesota Wilderness NAHL. First one to go ahead and give us the right answer gets 2 tickets.
That answer could have changed in the last couple of weeks. We had a couple of guys with 2 goals.
We did have some guys with 2 goals, but
2 goals.
I was hoping that
there's a shootout goal count.
No.
No.
Sorry.
Because Pavada had 3 goals on Saturday, but one was a shootout goal. So.
Right. Yeah. He had a terrific game. Yeah. All right, so we'll come back. We've got the head coach, Corey Millen, and also Lucania coming up on the show, and so we'll be back in a moment. And we're back into the Wilderness. We're joined by the head coach, Corey Millen. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, my
busy
pleasure.
Night for you, I understand.
Kind of in a hurry, trying to get to the rink.
We'll try to make this as concise as possible here. You're going to the Hermantown and Hibbing game, scouting out, and I understand that there's a player that you tendered on that Hermantown squad. If you can, are you able to talk about him at all? Is that
sure? We didn't tender him. We just added him to our 23-man list, and with the understanding that he's going to come and play after high school. So
sure, and that's Cole Kepke.
Yep.
All right. So what have you seen from him? What is it that you like that makes him a good fit for the Wilderness?
Well, I mean, he's a obviously very talented kid. Has been scoring, and he's got some offensive upside. He's a kid that and with the loss of Klein and Ville and Heikla, kind of a little unknown, and Roth leaving, we do think that it'd be nice to maybe get someone with a little bit of offensive savvy, and he has a little bit of that. To say that he's going to come in and provide a lot of offense I think would be unfair for him, but he does have the ability to skate and provide some offensive effects.
Sure. Are you able to talk about anybody else that you may be looking at, or does the NCAA rules kind of carry over to you guys too?
No, they don't. It's just I'd rather not sit and talk about it, but it's always good to see put eyes on guys. There's a bunch of young guys there that are going to be probably coming up in a year or two, or and so it never hurts to have eyes on some of these good young players.
Sure, and I know you guys are busy doing that all the time.
We're trying to.
Down in the Twin Cities right now.
Yep.
So yeah. All right, so last weekend, the series against Cooley Region, there was kind of an evolution there. You had the game on Thursday night, saved by the terrific goaltending of Lucania. The game Friday night was not the typical Wilderness team that I've been used to seeing for a couple of years, but then things seemed to improve on Saturday. If you can talk about what you thought of what.
Yeah, well, I obviously wasn't in love with really any of it. I thought we got away with one Thursday. I thought Kenya stole one. We didn't play well. Friday, it caught up to us. We played probably worse, and and then Saturday, I thought we were a little better Saturday, but we didn't get any bounces. Their goalie played well, but again, we weren't great. So to me, it's obviously the cycle of the mentality of young kids, and I guess we're gonna have to try to get them fresh and get them refocused because. As we know, the game is a mental game, and if they're not there checked in mentally, it's tough to win games. It's tough to be good.
Talk about Luke Kania's development with this team since he came in to this point here. How has he improved?
Well, I mean, I think he's always been a really good goalie. He comes pretty highly touted. We wanted to supplement Chase Monroe with another guy that we could lean on a little bit, and they could push each other. So he's been good. For the most part, he's been pretty solid all year long. I think he's maybe had a couple of questionable outings. It's probably hurt his numbers quite a bit. Otherwise, his numbers would be quite a bit better. But he's been good for us, and goaltending's a big part of this deal, as we know.
Right. With a game like Thursday night, and you've mentioned how you've wanted to see a goaltender kind of step up and kind of take charge of something, and Luke kind of did that Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, we've been lucky enough to where we haven't had our goalies or leaned on our goalies to steal a game. I don't know that too many games we've been outshot. I mean, it's been probably a very few. But we were outplayed and we were outshot Thursday, and he came up big. And I think our players were probably a little bit delusional in how that went down, because obviously they weren't ready to play Friday.
And you talk about mental kind of a situation here. You've got a lot of guys that have committed to Division I programs. Do you feel that there may be some complacency there with some of those guys? And then also on the other side, some of those guys that may be frustrated right now that they have not gotten that scholarship or that commitment yet, that there may be some feeling that it may not come and that they may be giving up?
There's definitely that. That's what junior hockey's about. I mean, it's the mentality of these kids, and to try to manage 23 different agendas can be challenging. And you're right. I think we have some young guys that think that they're kind of set up and and I don't think they're working or probably getting after it as much as they should. And I think some of the 20-year-olds are a little frustrated that they don't have anything, and so there is a lot of trying to figure out how to mentally pull some strings and push some buttons that get these guys kind of on track and hopefully playing and plugged in.
Right. It's a lot different from when you were growing up, and you committed. Was it your senior year of high school?
Senior year. I mean, late my senior year. Yeah. So I think it's what's wrong with hockey. I really do. I have a big problem with it. I think these schools, and it's kind of, I wish they'd implement some rules that they can't commit and agree to these young kids, because it's really bad for hockey in my opinion, because there are young kids being committed to that end up not being ready or the guys they want, so they get decommitted, and then there are guys that are late bloomers that might not have the opportunity that they deserve because they're late bloomers, because teams don't have the money because they've committed to guys that they didn't really thought were going to be pretty good, but turns out maybe they were out of the gates early and matured early, and they're not the guy they thought they were going to be.
Well, talk about tough. The schedule remains tough for you guys, and it's all divisional games from here on out. Cooley this weekend. You get Janesville coming up for a couple weekends thereafter. So you guys getting these guys focused then to realizing that these are the games that really count?
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. We need to hit the refresh button, I think, and hopefully we can get some guys back energized. I mean, there was guys that played 7 games in 9 nights, and so the guys who went to Top Prospects. I'm hoping that was kind of just a bad weekend. Mm-hmm. But we've got to have these guys all on the same page and get them focused and ready to play.
Yeah, those Top Prospects hangovers. Hopefully they're.
We hope that was what it was. We hope that's what it was.
All right, Coach. We'll let you go and get your recruiting stuff done, and good luck.
Thank you
for the next couple weeks.
Appreciate it.
All right, head coach Corey Millen. We'll be back with more into the Wilderness in a moment. And we're back on Into the Wilderness, and we just over this past weekend, a new record was set of saves in a game by a Minnesota Wilderness player, and it was this young man that did that. That was Luke Kania. Thanks for joining us, Luke.
Oh, thank you for having me on the show.
Luke, goaltender on the team, been with us since it was October you joined us.
Yes.
And I understand that you're taking a break here from your day job, more or less.
Yes, I work at the rink here doing janitorial stuff and maintenance work around the rink, so I'll try and help out here, try and pay some bills.
So not only is it your home ice for your on your team, it's also where you get your paycheck.
For sure, yeah. I mean, it's business and home, so mixing a little bit of both here.
It does it help at all as far as being around here that much? Does it help you during the games at all as far as being used to the place and at least the atmosphere of it, more or less?
Definitely hear a lot. I mean, it's a little bit more quiet when I'm working here. Most nights it's pretty quiet, and we can get some good high school games, but nothing like the Wilderness fans, so it works out pretty good.
Right, yeah. And another place where you were doing quite well was the Green Island Arena down in La Crosse. First 2 games didn't allow a single goal. So what was, I guess, was it just that place? What was something about that place that helped you?
No, not really. I mean, try and play every game the same way. I mean, don't try and get up 2 up for a game or 2 down for a game or anything like that. Just try and play, and just so happened that my team was there. They were playing well for me. They were playing well in front of me. Let me simplify my safe selection. So worked out, and happy we got that win. But I mean, things don't work out the next day. So if we can bounce back, just the way things go sometimes.
Yeah. When you're in a game like that where you have where you keep getting pelted with shots, you know, the mindset between periods and that kind of thing. What is it like to just kind of, as far as keeping focus?
I mean, I just try and stay calm. You don't really think about it too much, and in the moment, I mean, the game goes real fast, especially if you're playing well. The game definitely goes real fast. If not going well, it definitely takes a little bit longer. So try to keep a clear head and focus on the task at hand, one save at a time.
I know that there's often psychological, I guess, things that go into play a lot of times for people. Like in other sports, you look at pitchers when they're in the middle of a no-hitter, people stay away from them, you know, or a perfect game, you know. Are you in that kind of the same way? Or?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm not that superstitious. I mean, just simple things. I mean, obviously hockey is big. You don't really say the word shutout too often, especially when it's in the middle of it. But I don't mind it too much, and sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. Just depends on the day. Don't try and get too attached to certain things. I definitely have a routine before games, but I wouldn't say if things didn't go the way they needed to that I would change anything. I just try and go about my business the same way, and it's been working so far, and hopefully it keeps working down the road.
Right. Any particular moment in that game where you realized that you were at the top of your game on that Thursday night?
I mean, it's funny. I mean, I told Coach Petrich during warm-ups, I was like, yeah, I don't feel too good. Like, was letting a lot of shots in warm-ups, and I mean, it's just weird how things go. I mean, could feel really good in warm-ups, have a bad day, and feel really bad in warm-ups, have a great day. It's kind of different. That's why I don't like to get too set on, I did this today, so I'm gonna have a good day, because you never know what's gonna happen. But I mean, right from the start, our guys were playing well, and they're keeping the pucks right in front of me, and pucks were hitting me and sticking, so there weren't too many rebounds, and the whole game just felt good, and the team played well, so I was happy with that gameplay for sure.
As long as you can see the puck.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. When I can't see it, it's tough to save.
Yeah. Now, what made you want to be a goalie?
I don't know. When I was younger, I wouldn't say I wanted to be a goalie. It kind of was forced. When I was younger, we would just have practice. There was no goalies or anything. Just kind of learn to skate, and I was kind of a goon. I'd run around hitting guys and slashing guys, so they put me in the penalty box during practice. So they asked me if I wanted to play goalie, and went out from there, and haven't played a game of forward since. So
oh, no kidding.
Very nice, yeah.
And when you were growing up, any particular goaltenders you looked up to?
I mean, now Braden Holtby, he's been my favorite goalie for a while, but growing up, Ryan Miller is great. Jocelyn Thibault is awesome, and I'm a big Hawks fan being from Chicago. So guys like that, I definitely like to emulate my game after them. So just try and play like them, and hopefully one day I'll be them.
I saw your development brought you through the Chicago Young Americans program.
Yes.
And then first year midgets was with the Chicago Mission.
Yes, yeah.
And I hear a lot of good things from that program. We had any interaction that you had there with Ivan Shukarov or some of those other guys?
No, he was not there when I was there. I know Monroe played there for a little bit. He wasn't there when I was there. So I know of them, obviously, being from Chicago, but I didn't know them at the time.
Yeah, but I hear a lot about that program.
Yeah,
how did that, do you think, set you up for?
It's a great program. I mean, we had a really good team. I think we had like 4 or 5 draft picks on that team, and most of the teams committed Division I or playing Division I right now. So we did really well. I think we ended up going to the semifinals and nationals, and just it was really fun. Developed a lot that year, playing with so many good guys in practice, and it was a great experience. And then I went up to Shattuck for 2 years and played there with Coach Ward, and those guys did a great thing. Ended up with a national championship. That was a good run. Great 2 years up there also.
Yeah. I hear a lot about Shattuck and the academics there, and how that's stress for you guys. How were you able to balance that with hockey?
The school is great. The school is great about it. I mean, I had a few teachers that I actually played with their kids on my team and stuff, so like to help out a lot. They're really helpful with our travel and whatnot, and when we miss days, they'd help us out. And I mean, you could make the school as hard as you wanted. If you want to take all AP classes, you could. If you just wanted to coast through, which not many people did there. But I mean, I took a few AP classes, did well, and they helped me out a lot. So it was a battle, but school's something that I take seriously, and it's not too much of a challenge for me.
Yeah, and that's another place that's a terrific reputation at Shattuck, you know, with what they've been able to produce there.
Oh, for
And,
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, especially being in Minnesota, it's definitely a great place, powerhouse. I like to say I'm from
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, definitely. So, and then you made your way to the NHL, started with Aberdeen.
Yes,
and you got
yeah.
to play under Coach
So last year I
Francis
was
Angelo.
there. Yeah, he was great. Was there last year after my injury. Was out most of the year, but played 8 games there and did pretty well. It was a great organization, great team, and we did some good things. But now with the Wilderness, so
Yeah.
even better here.
You got your first taste of playoff experience, but things were kind of rough in that game.
For sure, yeah. We were last pick to get in there, a 4th seed there, and played a really good Austin team who ended up going to the finals. Like you guys know, you guys knocked them out, so it was a tough battle with them, but got some playoff experience and it was good there.
And then Sioux Falls, I noticed you still have some of the equipment at the
Sioux City.
Yeah, or the
Yeah.
Sioux City. Okay.
Yeah, some guys in Sioux City would definitely it wasn't with Aaron Miller there.
Yeah.
Sioux City for sure. They're
Yeah.
pretty big rivals, but yeah, lucky enough to get the gear from them, and lucky it matches the team here, so
Right.
it worked out perfectly.
Nice. And I understand that you've got you and Eddie Olczyk have something in common
Yeah.
there. So
Yeah, after my first year at the Mission, they came out with what's called the Eddie Olczyk Award. It was actually, I think, the second year it was in existence, and it was just an award for families that can't really afford hockey. I mean, hockey is probably the most expensive sport. I can't really think of one that's more expensive, so it's tough to pay the bills and everything like that. And they made an award for families that struggle with it and struggle with payments, and I applied for it. Luckily, I was awarded the scholarship and helped me go to Shattuck, helped me pay for some of the fees there. I mean, nothing's free in this life, so
oh yeah.
I mean, definitely helped out there. And I ended up going to work for their Chicago Blackhawks youth camps, which actually ran by Eddie Olczyk. So been with him for 3 years now, I believe.
Okay.
So yeah, we have a pretty good relationship. Talk to him quite a bit, and he's a great guy and does great things over in Chicago and with NBC.
I hear a lot about his charitable work, and
Yeah, he's a
it's
great guy.
thing. It's great to see that his work led you coming up here. So,
For sure.
what are your goals then that you want to achieve for this rest of the season here?
Oh, I mean, first we want to. I mean, if we could overtake first, that'd be great. I know Fairbank's a good team and they got a stranglehold on the division, but we want to finish as high as possible and go into playoffs on a good note and see where things can go. You never know what'll happen in the playoffs. I mean, I definitely want to get a Division I scholarship. That's a goal for everyone, but I mean, being a goalie, you got to get wins, and win as a team, lose as a team. So it's definitely going to come down to the wire here.
Yeah, you and Chase, pretty good relationship.
Yeah,
between
no,
you two?
Chase, one
Yeah.
of my good buddies, probably one of the best on the team, and I mean, we're both from the same area. He likes to say he's from Chicago, but he's definitely not. He's from the suburbs there.
I love it.
Yeah, so I mean, great guy. We hang out a lot, and good guy. Just all around great guy. Everyone loves him. He's definitely a team leader, and he's been around the block a few times. So he shows a lot of stuff.
You are from the city, though, city of Chicago.
yeah, born and
Okay.
raised Chicago.
So Cubs or White Sox?
Cubs, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, Sox Field is in a little bad neighborhood, but
Okay.
definitely Cubs fan.
Prefer that north side.
Yeah, north side for
All right.
sure.
All right. Well, Luke, we appreciate you coming
Yeah,
along and
thank you very
joining
much.
us here. And
Yeah.
good luck the rest of the way here.
Thank
Luke Caney joining us here on Into the Wilderness. We'll be back in a moment. And we're back on Into the Wilderness, wrapping up this episode as February 26th coming up.
Yeah,
And that is
big night for
a
us.
big night.
Yeah, USG Community Night here at the rink. So all the tickets are $1 thanks to USG. We got a bunch of fun stuff planned for that. So we're gonna pack the house and hopefully we get a record crowd in here, and it's a good game and the fans enjoy it. And giving away USG's giving away bracelets at the front door for 2,000 fans. So basically everybody that comes will
Okay.
probably get one. I don't know how much.
Let's hope there are some people shut out from that. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't wanna-
hopefully
I
there
don't-
is.
you
I don't know
know.
exactly how many people this rink fits, but hopefully we get it all all the way packed in here and it's loud. And USG is one of our bigger supporters, so it's awesome that they basically they buy all the tickets so we can sell them for $1.
Well, I think last year's $1 game, the point streak stat had it at 2,500. So
Oh,
I
boy.
think that's what I saw, but I could be wrong.
So hopefully we do get it up to that high again, and should be fun.
Well, keep in mind that you're going up against a team that they just played last weekend, and there was a fight in that game. Adam Kressel was involved in a fight in that game, and also went to a shootout. So
and I mean we've been playing them a lot lately, so there's some bad blood in it. So hopefully it's a good high intensity game.
Let's get these people in here to know whose home they're in. You know? And
exactly.
Let's make sure Cooley knows where they're at. You know?
Exactly.
Let them know you're there. And then after that, a couple of weekends against Janesville, home and away. To Janesville here on March 4th and 5th.
Yep.
And then down to Janesville on the 11th and 12th.
Yep. On the 4th is we're gonna have a business after hours with the Chamber of Commerce here, so they're gonna have a little business after hours from 5 to 7, and have this room right here for them, and some food in here and whatever. So we got that going on, and Carleton Knights are gonna be playing the first intermission on Friday, I believe.
Okay.
And then that's kind of all for that weekend. But then the following home weekend, which I don't know the exact, I think it's the 17th and 18th. I don't know, does that sound right?
Or the 18th and 19th.
18th and 19th,
yeah.
yeah. That's our big military weekend. So that's another big weekend we got coming up. So guys will be wearing special jerseys on both Friday and Saturday night, auctioning them off, and all the money will go to veterans in the area and military families in the area. So Wells Fargo kind of is our sponsor for that weekend. So big thanks to them, and obviously the National Guard here in town helps out too. So got some stuff coming up that's exciting, and that military weekend's always fun too, I heard. So
we'll do another edition of Into the Wilderness before then. We'll kind of try to tie all that together.
Yeah.
So, and I understand that the Ryan Peltoma Boat Fund is being put together. Is that what the raffle is for?
Boat fund, yeah.
No? Or
I need a fishing boat for the summer. That is true. See what I can finagle. But yeah, that's coming up too. April 9th, we'll have the raffle drawing. So we've got the raffle tickets on sale right now. Basically how it works is 300 tickets will be sold. That's it, 300, and then the top prize is 10 grand. So you have a 1 in 300 chance of winning 10 grand, and then 3 500 tickets will also be sold, and $3,000 tickets will also that'll be drawn out.
Okay.
And then you do have the option. If it comes down to the last 2 people, there's a box on your ticket you can mark. If you both have the box check marked, then you guys split the 10 grand. So you each get 5,000 and 5,000. It's kind of fun. I've sold about 10 or 11 so far, and about half check the box and half don't. So
okay, that's going to be some drama.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see how different people are. So I think my mom didn't check the box, and my dad did check the box.
Oh, really?
So.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of funny, but yeah, it'll be. We're gonna have the Jack's gonna have a little kind of portable bar set up there, so and have some silent auction items, and if you buy a ticket, you get a free spaghetti feed that night too.
Okay.
So we'll have a big kind of party for the end of the year, and have some stuff going on there for that on the 9th there.
And just to remind everyone, the GoFundMe account for Matt Olson, former Wilderness player that has been injured, spinal injury, that's GoFundMe.com/Matt Olson-3. That's MATTOLSON-3. Trivia real quick, who was the last Wilderness player to score a hat trick? And go ahead and post the first answer on the Wilderness Twitter page or Facebook page, and win tickets. That'll take care of this edition of Into the Wilderness. Thanks to Eric Lippinen, thanks to Ryan Peltoma, and the coach Corey Millen and Luke Kania for joining us here on the show today.